This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you, the pit crew, are the real star of today's show, because we're just here to chit-chat and BS about sim racing news from around the world, and we do this each and every day, Monday through Friday, and I have so much fun doing it. I want to apologize, and this is a small apology. I have just been so out of sorts this week. Being out of town for as long as I was, coming back to so much to get caught up on, and then just get everything going. Plus, that's when I threw so many things at the show, like the capture card and Windows 10 on all the machines and all sorts of crazy things. And I just feel like I've been playing catch-up ever since until this morning. I think things are finally starting to settle down, feeling good, and looking forward to talking about sim racing news with you guys today. So what is going around in the world of sim today? Big story out of Forza. They have their preseason invitational, which is a big deal because they've got the IMSA sanctioning this year to go along with it. They got big sponsors like Bubba Burger. If you go to Long Beach, you know Bubba Burger. Even if you've never bought one in the supermarket, you know their branding because they've been a long-time advertiser at Long Beach, all over the track. There's a video here prepping and talking about the whole invitational, and you know, look, they're making a very big deal about it, and you know, you can tell because their hosts really dressed up for the occasion. Well, I'm one to talk. I do my show in a t-shirt every day. Anyway, but that gives you just an idea that Forza is pushing forward into just trying to keep in the limelight and in everyone's eye. Next up, cool video. If you just want to kind of, you know, we watch others drive in order to kind of learn. And so what we have here is Marcel Kiefer, who is like one of the semi-finalists in the F1 Esports. You're talking one of the best in the Codemasters discipline of racing, showing you how to get it done at Japan. So if you want to get some tips, you want to see the way one of the best attacks that track, you'll go check that out. You'll find it at the Formula One game Twitter feed. Let me pause that video so the sound goes away. Excuse me. Oh, hey, Max, what's going on, buddy? Big update from Raceroom. We talked about it all last week. Things that were going to be in it. One of the biggies being Zoo High. If I said that horribly, I don't know. Cutting rules, various improvements to VR and triple screen, and a variety of other changes that are on the update to Raceroom. Max, you could be quiet anytime you'd like to. That would be most excellent. So at their Twitter feed, you can find a link to the Steam write-up on the release, but there is a big list of changes and updates to it, and that is going to make Raceroom all that much more fun, which is really good timing also as Sim Racing Systems has implemented Raceroom, so that should make things even cooler in that respect. Yeah, Bubba Burger and the frozen section. I think they're okay. I don't think they're that great, personally. I'd rather make a fresh burger than a frozen burger. There we go. You guys are going to get me talking food again. I can't have that. Max, are you alright, buddy? Come here. Come here. Come say hi to the group. Come here, buddy. You come here. Say hi. Oh, they can't see you unless you come up. Never mind. iRacing is announcing this weekend is the beginning of the World Championship Grand Prix season. Just the other day, we're looking at those liveries by the Redline guys. Do I have it? I don't have it handy, but it doesn't matter. Here is the schedule of tracks you're going to be seeing, but if you want to see the best of the best, I mean, in this case, you're talking Martin Kroenke's, Gregor Hutu's, Freck Schotthorst, just amazing drivers, and you might want to get in there and check out this. Again, this is sim racing at its pinnacle. So if you want to watch the equivalent to watching the real-life Lewis Hamiltons, but in sim racing, this is one of the places you're going to find it, and here's the whole schedule. You find that all at iRacing. Max Cam. I need to put a GoPro on Max and just have him doing... Thank you, ADOP. TT Isle of Man. What was my point here? Oh, full review at Top Gear. TT Isle of Man is actually coming out with some very good things in terms of the feedback that I've heard about it so far. And I actually somewhere will have I have a whole other story about it, and this is at GT Planet, talks about how it's second place debut on the UK charts. So at this point, TT Isle of Man is looking like it's worth the money, and I still haven't got it yet. Behind, like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm behind on things, and I will make sure to try to get that and do something with it, because it's one that I personally just forget the show. On a personal level, I'm dying to do that. Speaking of dying to do that, Dakar Rally, another in-game shot this time. And their comment is, do you think you can manage the road book while still keeping an eye on the non-existent road? You know, it's that open world race environment that Dakar brings that will make it unique and different from all the other types of games that we've played. And each day they're rolling out more and more, maybe even to the point of exhaustion, maybe oversaturated our marketing. But we're all anticipating that one. They still are not letting it out of the gate. I mentioned it. It's coming up. I'm going to be participating in this. So this is March 21st. Another Hotlap Hump Day with the guys at Ricmo Tech. I'll be streaming from my end. They'll be streaming from their end. And they're going to have some prizes available both in-house and to the online community. So a few of us might be able to get in there as well. So I'll keep you notified as to what's going on, car, track, and availability for us to get out there and race with those guys. I mentioned this a while ago, but just another article about AS Rock making graphics cards. And AMD never saw it quite on the same level as NVIDIA did, where NVIDIA would make a chipset, they would make a video card, and then a million other card manufacturers would make that same card. AMD, I think this is one of those same situations where AS Rock is going to be another one of the suppliers, but it kind of doesn't matter whether you're buying or licensing their chip and making a card, as long as there's more and more manufacturers, there's more and more competition, which lowers prices. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Billy, for reminding me of that. The TT Isle of Man is only on the consoles now, and I think it was like the 26th, if I'm not mistaken, for the release on the PC version. This is interesting. So, FII racing driver Matthias Lauda becomes the brand ambassador to Best Meta, who's a cryptocurrency company. So this is a very interesting thing, and there are parallels in this case, because Michelle Frederico Pez, who is the former COO of Slightly Mad, also went over to this company, and another guy from Wargaming Net. So interesting to see cryptocurrency, which obviously is computers, is going in that same direction. So I just thought that was a cool story that somebody sent in. The man, not somebody. The man sent that in, and I thought it was worth covering. Here's an article. Populous collaborates on North America's first esports stadium. Now, I'm glad to hear there's another esport stadium being built, but I don't think they can claim this is the first. I think we've had a small handful of esports stadiums already popping up. I know of one being built in Los Angeles, for example. But anyway, another one is popping up, and these are going to be, you know, impressive arenas built for what we do, essentially. Games Radar, with another laughable Best Racing Wheels article, where they go on to tell you the Thrustmaster T, and I'm not knocking any of these wheels, I'm just saying, as a journalist, Justin Towell was given the task of writing an article on the best racing wheels, and in his infinite wisdom and research came up with a list of the T300, the TX, the G29, the 920, the TMX, and the T150, Ferrari 458. So he basically found Logitech, and he also found Thrustmaster. And even in this picture, I see a picture of a Fanatic back there, but is there a page to the list? Anyway, John and I always laugh behind the scenes when we see top lists, because they're usually pretty incomplete. Anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny and amusing. Car list. This is a Drive Tribe, and this is the Competizione car list. And, you know, you see these screenshots, and I think they're a lot further along on this title than any of us imagine. It's, supposedly coming very quickly, and I think that we're there. Anyway, Audi R8, Aston Martin, Bentley Continental, BMW M6, Ferrari 488, Lamborghini Huracan, Lamborghini Gallardo, Lexus RCF, McLaren 650, Mercedes AMG, Nissan GTR, and the Porsche 911. Man, this is going to be fun. I've been on a roller coaster ride with new titles, and Competizione no differently. I'm like, oh, but Assetto Corsa is just getting good, and, who knows what's to go on with that. But this right here could make for some really fun racing, and I am optimistic to see this group of cars on the track at the same time. Balance of performance, will they be matched? Will they make adjustments? This could be really cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right, Billy. Those lists, what do you know? Thrustmaster might have said, hey, well, you might want to mention Logitech because they, gave them an assortment of wheels and an incentive to do the list. Okay, so this E3, I don't know how many of you people know about E3. E3 is the Electronic Arts Expo. No, not Electronic Arts. Electronic Expo. It's basically the giant gaming convention. And over the years, they've changed it. When I first started doing all this 10 years ago, E3 had sort of lost its luster, and it was very tiny, and no one went. Then it made a comeback and started getting good again. And now it's gone commercial. E3 is not what it used to be, and now E3 has become just this... Bleh. Anyway, Microsoft is putting more focus about being across the street instead of at E3. They're still going to have a booth at E3, but their big presence is going to be across the street. You're seeing people starting to branch out, and I'm just wondering if it's not because E3's become such a nightmare. But that is news that is changing. AMD's new chip supposedly has security flaws. Surprise, surprise. The only reason I mention this is, when is our world going to take computer threats seriously? And how much can we hold these guys responsible for knowing every threat when you have so many people going after them with so little to lose? I mean, it's like, it's the crime of the century, what you can do on computers, and be either untraceable or no one even policing such things. So anyway, it makes me mad that the next gen of chips are already walking into the problems that we already know about. That's not good for us. That makes that whole argument for online gaming where your computer would be on the cloud even. GT Planet, Project Cars is now having another photo mode competition. So if you're very good and like taking the time to get a great photo, you can set it in there and get your name acknowledged by them. Moving right along, bankrupt Toys R Us is closing all US and UK stores. And not that that breaks my heart all that much, but it just shows you the changing the times. And it kind of frightens me. In my day, we used to go down to the store, we'd walk through the snow, and we'd buy a thing with our cash, and now we're at the era when no one goes to a store, and it makes me mad, because someday, I promise you, I don't care how good Amazon gets, at some point, I'm going to need something on the spot and not be able to go get it, because there will be no more stores. What did I say? Toys R Us. What did I say? I'm sorry. Next up, in my final news story of the day, and this isn't even sim racing news, John Hill sent this in, and I just thought it was kind of amusing. But Shelby was going to go on to make a lot of cars, and so after the Cobra and after the Ford GT40, this was to be the next Cobra. And it's a car that, I mean, I've never seen. So looking at this one, I didn't know there was even a newsprint article about such a car. This is a little before my time. But look at this beautiful Shelby. And this is the kind of thing I'd like to see in sim racing. See something like this. Rare cars that are exceptional. Things like that. So that is going to do it for today's news. What else do we have going on? I just want to give you a heads up on a few other things. Number one, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. That's like an hour, 13 hours. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. That's 1 a.m. for East Coasters, which is where Nim Cross is. And we're going to be doing an interview. We're going to be getting down to business and talking sim racing with Nim Cross, the chief steward of iRacing, the man, the blue hammer of iRacing, the guy who gives the smackdowns when infractions are done. And we're going to talk to him all about that tomorrow night at 10 p.m. If you have any questions, I don't know if all you're going to be making that late hour, but if you want to have your questions answered, you better send them in to me while you're talking on Discord with me, or email them over to me. But Nim has a great history and a great story pre-iRacing, and he is going to have some great insight as to things about iRacing and about the future of sim racing in general. So it should be a really fun interview. I know Nim. I've met him a handful of occasions in person, and I'm really looking forward to hanging out with him and just talking sim racing. Beyond that, coming up at 6 p.m. tonight, we'll be at our first race of the week at Catalunya in the Sim Racing Systems 90s DTM Revival Series. 6 p.m. tonight, you'll be able to watch that from my new streaming angle. Crossing my fingers. This is one of those headaches I've had this week. I just formatted this system. As soon as I shut down this, I'm formatting this system. Hopefully tonight's stream goes as planned. So tune in. It could be a train wreck. And if you want to watch me sweat, you come in and watch one of those days where the stream is not going well. So that is going to do it for today's show. Thank you for being here. Thank you, my friends, the pit crew, for just talking sim racing and just being part of my friends and part of the crew. That's going to do it. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.